on Sunday, coffee smelling good, your dog's acting crazy, but you laughing and having a good time as they run around. But your spirit is still feeling weird and it's just unsettled. Like God has blessed you with so much. Everything looks right on paper. You got the job. You got a wonderful place to live. Whether that's full, we got tired of surviving and started dreaming about living.
Good morning, everybody. So real quick, I just got to work and I was sitting here thinking to myself about, like, I can't for the rest of my life. Like, this ain't. I remember when I was younger, maybe early 20s, maybe 20s in general, and I just wanted the title of being a leader of some sort, to prove myself, to show people that I could do it. And that's what I knew, because I had seen, like, one of my uncles who I looked up to at the time, went to college, had a corporate job. I saw him in the suits. I saw him doing everything that he wanted to do. So I naturally wanted that for myself, right? And because he was like a mentor. And now that I'm older, I'm just thinking to myself, like, the mental struggle, the fatigue. I want that. And my wife and I have talked about this for the past year. This has been a conversation around relocating and what does that mean and can we do it? And nobody's ever done it in our family. Like, this is different. Are we crazy? Like, like going out of the country and experiencing other cultures and it being a culture shock and not being able to eat the food that I like. I'm a country girl, so I'm like, dang, like my collard greens, yams, fried chicken, Sunday black eyed peas, rice. What am I gonna do? And in my head, I'm like, girl, cook it. It's a little bit of it is me being a little ignorant, maybe naive. And I've traveled. I stayed in South Korea for a little bit, and I'm not afraid of the travel. I'm afraid of disconnecting from all that I know. And that's not even like me. And I'm rambling right now because as I'm sitting here at work and I'm looking at the door, I'm just like, I gotta go in here and I gotta do this job that some days I love, don't get me wrong. I make really good money. I'm very happy. I'm so grateful. And God, please don't take this the wrong way of me being ungrateful, because I'm not. But there has to be more to life than waking up. Or actually, let's just think about this. You go home. First of all, no. You wake up, depending on what time. For me, I wake up at 5, 4, 6 o'clock, depending on the day. So 4 or 5, between 4 and 6 o'clock, Torva is up. Then I either go to the gym, go to Orange Theory, come back, feed my girls. In the meantime, my wife has to get up early in the morning. Like, she typically gets up around 2. And so that means she has to be to work by 4 because her commute is about 30 to 45 minutes. So she needs time to meditate, get her mental together. And then I'm up after that, getting the girls together, feeding them, getting their food ready for the afternoon, because they have a walker that comes, because I might not be there in time to feed them, and they'll start going crazy and barking because their internal clock is going off. And so I then get home after working all day, mentally leading the team, being strategic, being tactical, being analytical. And then I got to go home and cook, and I'm in school. And then by the time I do everything that I need to do for myself, I maybe have an hour that night to just spend by myself. And it's a lot. And the mental struggle of doing that every single day and then only having 2 days off. And one of them 2 days I'm sleeping because I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I'm recuperating from all the effort that I had to put forth over the week, whether that be mental or physical. And then it's Sunday again, and then it's Monday. This ain't the life that I want. My best friend just walked by. She works with me, and I saw her. I was like, what am I doing? But that's just not the life that I want for myself. And as I sit here right now, and as I think about this, and as I have been thinking about this over the past 2 years, there has to be more to life. And I'm trying to figure it out. I hope to figure it out. My goal is to figure it out. But I promise you, Will be God is going to bless me, God willing. He allows me to live a very long and healthy life. I want to figure out what it feels like to live and not work because I have to. I don't I don't feel safe. I feel like I'm in a rat race. I don't feel like, and even though I make good money, I don't feel as though that's enough right now. And that's sad. Follow me on this journey. I don't get a lot of these rambling moments as I start to really process that we're moving out of the country.
So I want to kind of tell you guys like the process of us getting here. Over the past year, I was promoted. My wife ended up leaving telecommunications, going into retail, and we had this plan of we reached a certain dollar amount as a couple, and then life is amazing. Like baby, we got it. You know, we made it. We got out of debt. You guys know you heard about that story. I posted it. I've talked about it. We did all the things that we should have done in order to start our foundation off as easy as possible and as freeing as possible. But at the same time, or I should say, during that time, we were just thinking like, yeah, we paid off all this debt. So what do we do now? It's like, do we buy homes? Do we buy like look for townhomes? Do we invest in land? Like, what do we do? And I remember looking to her and to kind of rewind back a little bit. There was a moment where I really wanted a home. Like I really wanted the two-story home, and then I went to the ranch style home, and then I went to a townhome, and then I went to a condo. But whatever it was, I wanted it because I mean, I made it. I'm about to graduate. I made it to a certain tax bracket. So I was like, hey, girl, you doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? You're making your money, whatever. So get you a home. That's what everybody say you're supposed to do. And it, my wife never said yet. Like I would ask her, and she's older than me. She's about 9 years older than me, and I just kept thinking. I was like, babe, okay, so we're here now. What are we gonna do? She was just like, yeah, we start looking at houses, and when you marry, you want your partner to be like, hell yeah, let's look for a home, let's do it together. But she could never say yes. She said yes, but it was never like enthusiastically. It was just like, okay, yeah, cool. So I remember just like looking at Zillow, looking at all the sites that post homes for sale, and I was just looking at the prices, and I was like, okay, this house was built in 1978. I wasn't even born yet. It still looked like they didn't renovate it. No, they moved in and said, okay, cool, we here. And I was just like, and y'all, that house was like $350,000. And I know you're supposed to move in, make it your own, tear out some things, build it up a little bit, resell it. That's nice. But that's just not where I wanted to spend my time and my investment. And whenever we moved here, we did have a two-story home. And the time that it spent to clean that house from top to bottom, I promise you, it was the entire weekend. When you got two dogs and both of them are constantly shedding or seasonal shedding, and then you have two women living in the house, and we're black, so we got products out the what, like it was it's a lot. And then clothes, I work out, she works out, and then we both in corporate America, so we got laundry out to do. And it was just a lot. And so that's when I realized, okay, I don't want a home. So what do I want? But long story short, y'all, I'm rambling, but long story short, I just did not want a house. I did not want to spend my entire weekend cleaning up a home. So one day I said to her, and this was right after who was elected into office, and I'm not going to go there. And it was, my spirit was so unsettled. I went into the deepest depression that I had been in a very, very long time. You can ask my best friend. She didn't see me for a month. Like I didn't talk, I didn't do anything. It's just because I could not believe that America hated to vote for a woman that was more than capable of leading this country. And that shook my foundation. That's when I knew it was time for us to go. And I went to my wife, and I just started sliding stuff in there because if you know Senya, she is a person of, she's very practical. Let me put it that way. Um, and you can't just tell her you're going to do something. She has to digest it, and sit with it for a little while, think about it, understand the pros and the cons, and then you come back to her. And the first thing I said to her was like, "Baby, I want to move to Thailand." I'm like, we're gonna move to Thailand in 2 months." Y'all, I was crazy. I was so manic. I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna move to Thailand in 2 months, and I'm gonna pull Chat GPT up, and Chat GPT gonna tell me everything I need to do." And baby, this was, she's just looking at me like, "Okay, girl." And so I remember Saturday we went to our office, the leasing office. They had like a little office area for us to sit in a conference room, and so we sat there and we just started um, outlining the plan to move to Thailand. Then Thailand get hit with an earthquake. Then it was just too hot, like it's humid there. And I started thinking about Nyla, and I started thinking about Dakota, and I was like, I really want to do that, but it's been. We stopped for a second. It was just like, no, we're not gonna do Thailand either. And then I was like, okay, then what do we do? And I just started praying. I just started praying. I was like, Lord, here are the things that I want. And I want to share with you a couple of things that I remember talking to God about and explaining to him what mattered to me. And y'all, if you know me, I grew up in the church. So some people might look at me and be like, oh, did you? I did. It's still in me. Um, yeah, I don't have to say anything. It's still there. So I went to God and I said, God, I know what I want. I know what's very important to me, and I know what my core priorities are. And if you can help me understand and show me where I can get that type of lifestyle, I will do everything in my power. And my wife, when I will do everything in our power to write that vision and make it plain and put some action to words. So the priorities were for me, it was safety. My wife's was walkability. Hers were views. Mine was transportation, because we have to think about what does transportation look like. Obviously, the two vehicles that we just paid off, we do have a plan for those. So stay tuned to that. We will talk about what our plan of action is for our two vehicles later on down the road. Wi-Fi, hello, because what? LGBTQ plus, like inclusion all around. What is that? I want to feel it. I wanted to feel a Black African presence somewhere in the environment. And I know you're going to say, I was like, God, I'm gonna put it out there. And then, of course, you got South Africa, and I was like, well, getting Nyla and Dakota there, that's not going to work. But anyway, things to do. Condos that are affordable, because I do want to live. We know we want to stay in a condo, and then a pet friendly environment. And so when I prayed about it, I said, okay, these are my core values. This is what I want. Oh, and great food. Excuse me, great food. Forgot about that. I was like, yeah, I need some good food. So I prayed about it. I'm still praying about it. I'm not gonna let up on praying. But I I remember it was I was scrolling on social media just one day, and I saw Costa Rica. I was like, okay, Costa Rica, that's cool. I was like, all right, I think I can do Costa Rica. And then, of course, we just came back from Mexico earlier in the year. So I was like, ooh, Mexico, yeah. But then I started thinking about the things that I saw in Mexico. I was like, yeah, no, not Mexico's not going to be a good vibe. And then Aruba. I was like, what about Aruba? Like, it's beautiful, but the cost of living is high. So I was like, okay, but it's still doable. You still can live there comfortably. And so I am going to tell y'all the top three countries that we decided on, out of Thailand, out of Mexico, out of South Africa, out of Costa Rica, out of Portugal, and then out of Aruba. The top three that we have chosen to travel to over the next year. And decide upon where we're going to go will be Costa Rica, Portugal, Aruba. Those are our top 3 countries. So every day when I wake up, I want to be able to see our goal. I want to be mindful and remember what I'm doing this for. So I put this in our bedroom. There's a map pinpointing all of the countries we are considering. And then this is going to house our goal. And next week, we're going to divide into each of those blocks, or I should say actually columns, because Aruba and Portugal will have their own individual space, and we'll talk about pros and cons and figure out where we're going. Costa Rica, Aruba, Portugal. I wanted to take a moment to thank you for watching our video. We are so grateful and thankful for all the love that you have shown us and just reached out and said that we're rooting for you. I can't thank you enough, because we thought before we did this that maybe, you hear people talk about it, but no one seems to talk about how to get there, or you never see anybody take action. So we are excited to be on this journey with you. Please share our video, like, subscribe, follow us on this journey. If you know somebody that's interested, please send it to them. Next week, again, my wife is going to be talking about her story as to why she is deciding to leave the U.S. Obviously, we are one, but she has her own reason as well as I do. And you guys found it out tonight. So thank you for watching Project Relocate, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.